Hi. As you know already, Collision got released, and I hope you already know as well that also the video got released. I worked a lot on it, and it took me a while. Anyways, this video is about the music, and it's going to be a project breakdown. Collision is just as usual 100% procedural sound design based. So I'm using only procedural sounds. There's nothing that's sample, and I didn't resample anything, which is a pretty hard way to do music, but I think it's worth it. The other thing is that I'm only using my own software called Alpha Forever, and I think it's pretty great, and it may look like something that uses a lot of CPU, but my computer can handle such a project, and it's not a new computer at all. So let's take a look at this project, and this is my main screen, so I've enlarged it a bit. I'm not using it this big. This is a 150% scale, just this way it looks better on the video, I think. So as you can see, we have about 40 channels here, and let's go through them. I solo this one. This is the channel called kick, and it sounds like this. And later on like this. And even like this. The same. And inside we can find 4 channels. This is just a basic 909-ish kick, so if I play it, there's no MIDI coming in here. Oh, it needs the clock to go. So it's just basically it's just an envelope that yeah, this is a funny way to create a sine wave, but this is just a sine wave, so it's a simple sine bass drum. And then here's the brother of it, which sounds funky. And this has some parts here, so let's go through them. The first part is, as far as I see, it's a wave-shaped sine wave, so we have a sine function here, and this is the phase driver. It may be a bit complicated to look at, but it's really nothing too complicated. Let me plug this right here. Okay, I create a gain in here, and this way I can quickly reconnect everything. So this is what this part sounds like, and the second part sounds like this, which is again just a wave-shaped sine wave. So, but this is this distorted thing, and the reason is that we modulate the phase like this. If I change this, we get a different sound. And then we have a part here which is using two white noise oscillators, and drives them through some filters which are now EQs, but they are really just bandpass filters. And since this is stereo, I'm gonna connect it right here, and this sounds like this. And these 3 parts together, I think this is a nice bass drum. And together with the first bass, yay. And now we have 2 tracks called Knock. This really is just a 4-pole filter which gets a click as an input. So if we listen to this here, it will just click. And this way it was band pass. The resonance gives it some body and some depth. And I think the second one will be the same. Oh, it's not, it's more complicated. Okay. Let's look at this bigger. I'm gonna do the same as before. I'm going to create a mixer here and actually this has two parts as far as I see. Two white noises per channel, so one sounds like this and the other one has a longer release. And the base of the sound is really just a white noise with an envelope. And they are filtered using a bandpass filter, a 4-pole bandpass. One is like this, the other is like this, and mixed together in stereo they sound like this. And this is the kick part. It's pretty rich. Okay, this is going to be complex, I think. This has some kind of processing going on the top, but I'm going to turn it off now. No, let's listen to it dry, the processed for starters. As you can hear, this is something pretty mad. So this has two channels. The first one sounds like this. The second one sounds like this. And the patch looks like this. So what do we have here? First one, this is polyphonic. So we have two channels of polyphony here. And the signal is stereo. So the left and right sides are different, and that's because of the source of the sound is just a simple white noise. And I can show this to you, like when I plug this into the output. Why does it sound almost the same? Maybe I'm editing the wrong channel. Yeah, I edited the wrong channel. Okay, let's listen to this then. The bass is the same. I thought this is the sound. But anyways, so the bass is the same, that the sound is full stereo, it's on the left and the right channels, and the source is just a plain white noise. So let's listen to it. But it's two white noises, one on the left side, one on the right side. And this goes straight into a string. And then it sounds like this. Almost the same note. A string is nothing more than a feedback with a filter. Okay, this is complex. We don't want to go into this. If you watch my videos, you've already seen have structures like this, or if you're not that much into sound design, okay, that's a thing. This is basically a comp filter with a feedback, with a dampened feedback. And then there's another thing. That's the same patch but with different settings. So We have a delay here, we have an all-pass filter here, which is dependent on the sample rate and the delay length, so it's complex. The all-pass filter creates something like the stiffness of the string, or no, not the stiffness, the width of the string, and yeah, this is basically just phase modulation. Anyways, this goes into reverb, and the output is what we have. So we have a pretty crazy sound. And the other guy is almost the same. So as you can see, this part of the patch matches what we had before, but here we have some filtering going on. And that's driven by some envelopes. So we have a filter modulation on the same sound that we had before, and that creates these dun 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 dun. And yeah, and these two guys together create the bass structure, and the processing on this track is some EQing, so I boost the lows and the highs, so I create a V shape, and then we have a compressor here, and yeah, basically this is the processing. It's nothing too fancy, just some compression and EQing. Sounds noise. Okay, let's go to the next guy. It's called Glitch Sub, and you get it, it's a sub. And it's called Glitch Sub because of it's pretty crazy, and I used it differently during the production of the track, but in the end it turned out to be almost like a simple sine wave. But it's a square wave with a chorus and a filter and two other filters, distortion, and one more filter, so it's lots of filters to create something that sounds like a sine wave. So it's really overshoot, but it was able to do different things like yeah, stuff like this. So these resonances can get together and do some crazy things. And in the end I didn't use these features, but I had the chance to use them. And then there's Unison Sub. I think we already heard this sound lots of times before, and I would not call this a sub, but some kind of unison bass. So it's really just a saw wave, 4 of them together, and some white noise and simple filtering. So, and I think there's a reverb behind it, yeah, and some ducking. So if I start the clock, Oh, there's some automation that turns this off. Anyways, this is decking and reverb and EQ, and that's all. Then we have a bass here. That sounds like this. So cool. It's again the same pitch as before with the two bass lines, just modified with different values so it gets more depth. This is just layering. So here we have the percussion, where we have a track called Deep Impact, which is not the B movie. Sounds cool. And we have a noise track inside. That's basically the hi-hat. And the whole track together sounds like this. And this Deep Impact sounds really nice, and I don't remember what it looks like, so... Oh, it's nice that I didn't remember this. I know now what this is. Oh my god, what did I do here? This was based on a timpani, and I was taking a look at the timpani sample, and did look at the frequencies of the timpani, the modes, which put a timpani sound together, a real acoustic timpani, and I took the ratios of the of these modes and was trying to recreate that sound using additive synthesis, so like 8 bandpass filters with some white noise burst. So if we listen to these guys here, let me show it. Each one will be a different harmonic with different resonance values as well. And these guys together are like that, these together are like this, and all together and then we have a white noise based sound next to it. Okay, that was a bad idea, maybe this is a better idea. And this whole thing goes into another resonator, and then we have a nice sound. I think this is a nice sound, but it's again overcomplicated, but that's part of my image slowly. And then the noise should not be anything fancy, but it looks like it is something fancy. Yeah, some crazy envelope going into a filter which is non-linear. Sounds nice, so what else? And this track has no percussion, so no processing on, no compression, no EQing, so this is just the way it is. Then chords. Cheers. So these are chords. This is one. This is the second part. I like it. And basically this is a pretty simple sound. It's based on a saw wave and a triangle wave together with some white noise. So if you take a listen to the dry voice, it's like this. Then this whole thing goes through a 4-pole filter and gets warm and nice. And there's some reverb after it with ducking and a bit of EQing. I think this is a real nice patch. And all the oscillators are tuned to the same place and there's no fine tuning, so it's just a basic synth, but it's a nice basic synth. And the other part is the same, but with a different reverb and maybe a bit different settings, but it's the same. Please don't ask me what this is. It's coming from this. Oh, I have to come away. Sorry. There's some automation going on which creates a feedback, and then it gets like whoop whoop whoop, like overdriving stuff. Then we have the ARP track here. Let's listen to it. Noise. It's the same sound but with chords, and this is all we have here. So let's take a look at this. Turn off processing on the group. It's a bit more full now, but this is not what we needed for the mix, so I had to remove these mid frequencies. And now let's take a look at how this sounds dry. So this is something basic again, 2 saw waves with 2 octave differences. Oh no, just 1 octave difference. So the basic sounds like this. If I have armed the track. But again with a filter. So it's just a filter dual saw wave. And then it has some echo going on here, which is the echo preset of Alpha Forever. And in the end, some processing with EQ and high pass filter and the compressor, and that compressor gives it this punchy sound. And the same goes on the chord track. I won't go into that. This is just differently processed, but the same. Okay. Bad. I don't remember the chords, but you get it. This is the main pad. And it won't be complicated at all. It's 3 oscillators, a saw wave, a square wave, which is a pulse, and another pulse but with a different kind of oscillator. I think it doesn't matter that much, and some white noise, and a 4-pole filter. So this is a classic pad sound, but with 3 oscillators, so it's like a polyphonic move basically, with this ladder filter. And it has tons of reverb on it and some EQing. without the processing, it sounds like this. I like it. Ambience strings as usual. So yeah, these are strings, these are complex things, so these are, you can find this same thing in the presets of Alpha Forever, so you can study it if you want to, even in the demo version. I'm proud of this patch. I did that years ago and I'm still using it. And it's processed using some reverbs and some EQ. So it's, the processing is nothing fancy, the sound itself is fancy. Then the other thing is the shakuhachi patch. Which is not, this is something I like a synthetic shakuhachi. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, and I don't know how to pronounce many words. Doesn't matter really. I was just playing around with a flute sound and was trying to make it working like a shakuhachi with these envelopes. And the sound itself is, so you can see an oscillator here, just an LFO maybe. But this sound is again based on a white noise, which is high pass filter, that's like the mouth part. And I can't show you how this sounds because it's just, so it's nothing too interesting. And the interesting part is inside the feedback loop, which without a feedback loop sounds bad. With a feedback loop, it sounds like in a feedback loop, so you have to get used to it. It has a bandpass filter, which is based on the cutoff frequency. So that's, and it's it uses a 10H distorter. So if this feedback gets overdriven, it gets rounded into a sine wave. So it sounds like a flute. And it's carefully tuned parameters all around. I played a lot with it and found that this ambient part needs some airish sounds. And with an echo and the reverb, I like this. Maybe it sounds like a cheesy General MIDI pan flute on its own, but using these effects, it's just a different world, at least in my ears. Then we have some granular effects here, which are pretty hard to demonstrate. But maybe if I play this part, if I solo this whole part, then you can imagine that we have the strings and then we sample them. And this part is doing crazy things with it, I think. On maybe granular synth. No, it's not that. It's not a granular effect, sorry. I had to look at it. I don't remember this project. I'm working on the second project since this. So this is just something like a ducking thing, so we can skip this. Then this is called Attack Synth. So yeah, this is like saw wave, another saw wave 1 octave higher, running through a 4-pole filter. The filter envelope is driven by a custom function, which is driven by an envelope follower. The modulation is complicated, the sound itself is pretty basic. And the result sounds nice, at least in my ears. And then there's some reverb and EQing going on here. And then this is the granular part, which takes a sample of the track before. And there's this looping, this random looping, which sounds nice, at least for me. So these were the ambience. Then we have a track called Stack here, which should mean staccato. I don't remember this track anymore, so let's take a listen to this. This sounds sick. What is this? I have some delay with randomized. I do stupid things. So yeah, the basic sound is simple. Should be simple. No, I'm not looking at the right patch, but that's going to be crazy as well. But what's this? I think I do the same here. Yeah, there's something going on. So let's start this. So this is gated. When this is off, then we don't have a sound. If this is on, then we have a tung tung tung. And where do I use this sound? I really don't remember. I remember it, and it has a place in this song. And it was a good idea to use it. So yeah, the sound itself is pretty simple again. It's just two saw waves, one octave difference, and they run into a 1-pole filter, and they are just gated. So it's, and then there's this crazy processing going on with a reverb, EQ, and ducking on the reverb. And there's the same ducking that happens in the patch itself. I don't know why I did this. Looks the same. Yeah. But it sounds good and works well. So let's take a look at this unison patch. The sound itself is like this. It's a basic synth once again, two saw waves. I I don't know why I used two of them, because they are the same, but I'm sure I had a reason for that. And the white noise oscillator, maybe they were no-cell waves. I don't know what I did here, really. And then they go into a one-pole filter, which is a four-pole part. So these two filters after each other have four filters inside. So this is a four-pole non-resonant filter. And yeah, basically this creates the movement in the sound, like the doom, or it would be just and then it's doom. Sorry. And then in the end, we do have some stereo spread here, which is based on the node ID. I think no one does this, that all the notes sound on a different place, but I do it. No one does this anymore. We used to do it on trackers back in the days. And then here's the crazy part. This is the same sound as before. Let's go back from the end. So we set the final volume, we do some EQing, like removing the low frequencies, and then we remove some mid frequencies as well, and we use a reverb, which is a duct reverb, and then we have two delays here which receive the input signal. So we basically have two reverbs, which is a stereo reverb pair, and do the processing on them. These delays are modulated based on the clock, and the clock is running through these arrays, and outputs were used based on this. So whenever I play, this is basically a random number generator, but anytime I restart the track, it will be always given the same value at the same time point. This is the reason why I did it like this. This is my method of generating stuff like Berlin noise, or something that works a bit like a Berlin noise. And this goes through an envelope follower to smooth it, and this whole thing just drives the frequency of an LFO, and it's a triangular LFO. And we set this, we scale this output from 0 to 50, so we delay the signal by, if the LFO is on the low, it's not delayed. If it's high, then the delay value is 50 milliseconds, and this modulation of the delay creates this this thing, and it's like this because of the triangle wave. When it's going up, then it pitches, then the pitch changes to higher. If it's low, then it's going lower, and this is crazy. High click physical. What does it sound like? It's just a click. If I have to guess, this is going to be the same as the bass patch. And yeah, it's the same, just on higher notes. And maybe the filters are different. So this is again, I reused what I did before. And here's the granular effect. Where does it take the sound from? I don't know, I don't see it now. Yeah, this should need some input, but I don't remember where I take the input from. And I don't see it here, which is kind of strange. This comes from the ambience. So I have to enable the ambient. So these low-pitched strings are made here. Yeah, this track is called Scape, and I think this is the Scape preset of Alpha Forever. Yeah, it's a bit modified, but it's that. And this is just another percussive element. And it's duct. Distraction. Yeah, this is the one that created this strange feedback. Let me play this track like this. Yeah, and this basically has two parts. One is this echoes part, which is based on a very simple structure. It's just this is just generating clicks, and the clicks are going into a filter which give it some body, so they sound like sine waves, and basically they are just decaying sine waves. And this whole thing goes into reverb, which gives it some space. Then there's the echo, and the echo is automated. And the cutoff frequencies is having automation here, and the feedback as well. And I don't know why the feedback is not showing up here, but I will show the feedback envelope because this was hard work. And in the end we have some processing like compression, and this part is purely feedback, and I think it sounds nice. And the other guy, so yeah, this is pretty aggressive sound. I think it can be called aggressive, and it's basically just a low frequency square wave that goes into a 4-pole resonant filter with lots of resonance, then a distortion, and after that into another 4-pole high pass filter, but this time without resonance. So I could remove this and use two non-resonant filters, but why would I? This was fine like this. And the whole thing has an ADSR, and in the song I played this really low. And the longer I let it play, the more the release is. So there's some pitch modulation, I think. Yeah, I'm modulating the pitch of this oscillator. And together they sound pretty nice. And then here's a track called Reverse Impact, which should be fun, nice sound. It's again just two white noises filtered with a bandpass filter. So without filtering, the whole thing would sound like a seashore. And the resonance of the filters give it the character. And this is used for transitions, and I think I have some volume management only going on after that. And here we have a noise synth called thing, which I don't remember what it does. Let's listen to it. I don't remember what it does. It's one of the most important elements of this song. So we have two oscillators, two saw waves, but I think this is stereo. Yeah, one goes into the left channel, one into the right channel. No, both go into both. They are detuned. Yeah, both go into both channels, but they are detuned. And we have some white noises, which are stereo and they are filtered. I remove the high frequencies and I send them into a string. So here the sound is like this. Just white noise. This is the filtered version. And this is after the strings. The first pair of strings. And here I mix these oscillators to this sound. And then another set of strings. And then I don't remember, maybe these were high pass filters. Probably. And there's some reverb going on here. And other processing. And basically this is it. And as you can see, I didn't touch any fader. I didn't use anything else than just what I have in modular stuff. And on the master, this is the master track. Since I changed things, I won't play this now, but I cut, no, I don't cut here, I just remove a bit of the mid frequencies, I boost a bit on the high frequencies, do some compression, and I maximize the volume using dynamics, so the master track is pretty basic, but it worked for me. And yeah, this is how I did this track. It was really a lot of work, but I think it was worth it. And I also hope that you will like the video. What else? If you are into sound design and are interested in doing stuff like this, then I think using Alpha Forever is a good start. Or if it's not even a good start, it's really a good playground to play around with oscillators, noises, and filters, and do polyphonic stuff, and do whatever makes fun. Anyways, I won't waste more time. I'm not the man of talk, so I won't waste your time anymore. I'm just saying goodbye, and I'm happy that you took a listen, and I'm even proud of you that you made it this far. And I hope I see you soon on this channel. I'm currently, at the moment of recording this video, I'm working on another track which will be called Overcomplicated, and the whole workflow is basically vlogged, and you can watch every minute I've spent on that track, and it's uncut and it's real, so it's what I do usually, and it's the same workflow. So if you find this interesting, then you can see a track being made almost real time. I'm not streaming because I don't have a chance to stream, but I'm recording it and upload it as soon as I can, and I always record it whenever I can work on the track, and several hours are into it already. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for enjoying Collision, and have a nice day. Bye bye.